And now, our feature presentation.
To infinity and beyond!
My name's Bond. James Bond.
That little pig.
Bad boys, what you gonna do?
Show you with the box. Who's in the box?
Damn! Ew! Get off of me! Ugh,
A lot of people go to college for 7 years.
I know. They're called doctors.
Houston, we have a problem.
Houston, we have a problem. Welcome in, everybody, to 52/1995, your live movie conversation podcast where we discuss movies from the year 1995. Bwah, bwah, bwah. What? Mortal Kombat. I am your host, Cody. I'm thrilled to be joined this week by my fantastic co-host, Joseph. If you're tuning in for the first time, we're so glad that you are here. Hopefully you'll stick around, give us a follow, and check out some of our other videos and our Discord and other things like that, and really join in on the fun. Every week, 52 of them to be exact, we explore a different film from the year 1995. We've been doing this for 2 years now, whether it is a classic hit, a quirky gem, or it's somewhere in the middle. We'll dive into this year's important releases. We discuss them in detail, and then I chat with a special guest about their thoughts and experiences with that movie. Our current theme, and we're ending this month, January, I think on a high note, right? And our theme this month is called You're in the Game, where the movies we talk about are from games. Last week we talked about Jumanji. That's the board game style. And then now we're talking about a video game this week because today's movie of choice is Mortal Kombat.
Big slap.
I mean, sick, right?
Yeah.
Sick song.
Amazing.
Better than the movie.
Apparently.
Yeah. Anyway, Joseph, welcome in. Before we jump into this week's movie, I want to thank you for joining us. I know the answer to this, but nobody out there does. I'm sure they do too. But have you seen the film that we're discussing today?
Oh, yeah. Definitely have seen many times. I think my latest rewatch before this one was maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. So
probably when the new one came out.
Yeah, right before the new one, or right before I watched the new one, I did a rewatch of the old one. So, yeah,
including Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Yes, which, some movies are better than others. We'll just say that. So,
but. Yeah. As an 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old watching these movies, greatest movies of all time, right?
Amazing. Yeah. Especially when you've spent so many hours in the arcade playing the game and then you see it come to life. Yeah.
I'm not. So you're a video game guy. I'm partial to video games. I loved video games. I think the idea of video games is amazing. I'm not good at them. I loved this and I loved Tekken. I was not a Street Fighter guy, but I loved Mortal Kombat and I loved Tekken. And I loved the characters that they had and the lore that these games have between them. Who was your one? You played which was Mortal Kombat your favorite out of those like fighting games?
Oh yeah, I'm traditionally I'm not a fighting game kind of guy. Like never did any Street Fighter or anything, but I think this one lured me in like back in the arcade days because of like the trying to do like the fatalities, like at the end of the fights. Always trying to like nail that sequence and get the little secret like finisher move. So yeah.
I remember having to print out like Yes, you had to print out like the move lists
Yeah.
because they weren't like included in the game. You couldn't even like pause. Some of the games had like a pause and you could like see all their moves and stuff, but it wouldn't include like some of the fatalities or babalities or friendships or
Friendships. Yeah.
animality.
Animalities. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I loved playing these games. I don't know if I have ever successfully done a fatality. All my friends could do it. My friend Andy could do all that stuff, but I was not very good at the buttons
Yeah.
and everything. So
Every now and then I would hit one, and it was just like the greatest high, but not regularly.
yeah, chat. I
would
did the
just
same.
hit 'em on accident.
Yes. I remember playing Mortal Kombat 2 on my Game Boy, probably 10 years after it actually had come out. And just sitting there on this like tiny gray screen trying to do these moves and everything. But yeah, like I loved the lore. I thought it was such a cool story. And once you got like into it and learned about all the characters, you had like your favorite characters that you like to play with, the ones that you thought were boring. Who was your go-to character?
Let's see. I think the one I played most was a little bit later, when Smoke came in.
Mortal Kombat 3.
Was it 3? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That was a
Yeah.
great arcade game.
Yeah. I think he was my go-to most of the time.
Yeah, I like the cyborg guys. Did you play Smoke as the ninja or the cyborg ninja?
The cyborg one. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I always like the cyborg guys the best. A
Yeah, there was
Cyrax.
the other one. Cyrax. Yeah.
Cyrax and Sector.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dang.
Cyrax was my boy though. I liked
You're
Cyrax.
unlocking someone for me. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, but Mortal Kombat lore has gotten wild over the past like 15 games, and they've kind of went back to the beginning with them. I think they are in Mortal Kombat 2 now. With that, but the story is still fascinating to me, and they tried to capture it in the movie that we're talking about this week. And you know, if you don't know the games, though, I don't know how much this movie does to give you much information about what you're seeing on the screen.
Yeah, you kind of speed run into it. Like a lot happens in the first like 10 minutes of the movie.
And we even have characters in the first 10 minutes that are just like, what is going on? There's a guy that freezes stuff, a guy with stuff coming out of his hand. What is this? Yeah, even our characters aren't sure what's going on with Mortal Kombat, but they kind of accept it just like we have to and move on with it. So, let's talk about it, right?
Yeah.
Let's just jump into it. The title, Mortal Kombat. Da-da-da-da-da-da. I should have had that like queued up to where I could just hit a button and it's just
Every time, yeah.
Anyway, this movie came out August 18th, 1995. It was directed by Paul W. Anderson or Paul W.S. Anderson. Not Paul Thomas Anderson. This is a different Anderson here. He is the director most famously for the known for the Resident Evil franchise. So if you've seen those movies and know another video game franchise that had nothing to do with the movies, had nothing to do with the actual video games, which was a little disheartening. Death Race was another one that he did. Event Horizon, and then maybe a movie closer to something you might like, Alien versus Predator. I don't know if I've ever seen it.
Oh yeah. You can skip it. It's okay.
It's okay. I can skip it. Then also, he is famously married to Mia Jovovich, who starred in the Resident Evil franchise. Yeah,
I had no idea. That's cool.
They've been married for a long time now, probably 20 years now. So
Awesome.
Yeah, that's the true romance of Hollywood. Is this relationship? Anyway, this movie was written by Kevin Droney. It is based on the video game series by Ed Boon and John Tobias. This cast had some just really good people in it. No, but seriously, there are a couple guys in here that did better than they should have with this movie, and probably got some more success because of this movie. So Christopher Lambert, most famously from the Highlander series, plays Lord Raiden. Kari Hiroyuki Tagawa plays Shang Tsung. Robin Shao as Liu Kang. Lyndon Ashby as Johnny Cage, Bridget Wilson Sampras as Sonya Blade, Talisa Soto as Katana, Trevor Goddard as Kano. So, some familiar names in there, especially around the early 90s and everything. We've seen Cary Hiroyuki Tagawa in another movie. I can't remember what it was, though, that we've watched. Was it the Sean Connery one?
No. Well, maybe, but that's not the one I'm thinking of. What was he in?
We watched one.
94.
Yeah, it was a 94 movie. No, it was 93. It was Rising Sun with Wesley Snipes and Sean Connery. So, yeah, we liked him. We liked him in that movie. And I think we like him in this movie. That's right. Let me give you a synopsis of this movie for those that did not watch it or make it all the way through. Lord Raiden handpicks 3 martial artists, federal agent Sonya Blade, Shaolin monk Liu Kang, and action movie sensation Johnny Cage, and mentors them. After intense training, Raiden transports the trio to Outworld, the site of an interdimensional fighting tournament. There, the 3 humans must defeat the demonic warriors of the evil Shang Tsung or allow Tsung to take over the Earth. Not exactly correct there with Google. He doesn't train them at all.
It doesn't really transport them either.
No. They kind of just take a boat. And the budget for this movie was only $20 million, if you can believe it. Yeah, right? That's not too bad. And then the box office return was $122 million. So this ended up being a pretty profitable film for this franchise. It is a little bit on the lower side of the ratings, though. Rotten Tomatoes has this at 47%. IMDb, 5.8 and out of 10, and Letterboxd at 2.7 out of 5. Roger Ebert did not review this movie, but his partner did, Gene Siskel. We don't often talk about Gene Siskel, but Gene Siskel loved this movie, gave it 3 out of 4 stars. He said the only decent video game turned into a movie. Why? Obviously, because the filmmakers have really tried to offer some eye-popping visuals that can provide the same stimuli as the video game itself. And Laura Evanson of the San Francisco Chronicle, however, did not like this movie. She gave it 1 out of 4 stars. She said this movie has everything that a teenage boy could want. Everything that is, but an interesting plot, decent dialogue, and compelling acting. Sorry, Laura. She did not like it.
She's not a teenage boy, though.
She's not a teenage boy. So they should have just had teenage boys review this movie because they would have given it 5 stars and said it's the most awesome thing in the world. This movie did have quite a legacy. Not only the video, obviously there's a video game franchise that comes, before this, but this movie has a sequel called Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Happens directly after the ending of this one. If you do watch that movie, be warned, there are only 2 returning cast members and everybody else is really bad. It's really bad. This movie's bad.
It's pretty bad, yeah.
But it takes a lot of the characters that people are familiar with from the Mortal Kombat 3 game, which was very exciting to see those characters on screen, like the horse guy. I really liked the horse guy. He was badass. Anyway, this also had an animated prequel called The Journey Begins. There was a novelization that might have been the first big book that I actually read in my life. I read this book. Yeah. It was awesome. It also had a TV series based on, these 2 TV series. I think they both lasted only 1 season. I remember one of these. But Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm, I think, is an animated series. And then Mortal Kombat Conquest, which is the one that I saw, was a live action series. And it was based around Kung Lao.
Really?
Yeah. And
was that shortly after? When are we talking? 90s? Like
96, 97, somewhere in there. Yeah. And I know somebody in my audience would like to know this, but the prince from the Rodgers and Hammerstein's Brandy Cinderella is actually plays Kung Lao in Mortal Kombat Conquest. So very small world there for those that love that movie. Anyway, there's also they tried to get this remade for years. They were actually able to, I think somebody like Fan Film got some people to do it in like 2010. There was like some short films that were made of Mortal Kombat.
I think I actually saw some of those that were pretty good.
Yeah, I really like those.
Inspirational, yeah.
Yeah, I think they were fan film or fan, like not fan film. They were like elevated from a fan film though.
Yeah.
I don't know. They were really good though. I remember those. I think there were 2 of those. And then in 2021 there was a remake, kind of revamping the entire series, bringing it back to the beginning. So,
With the
and
art
I think it was okay.
Yeah.
I think it took some of like the supernatural stuff and made them more practical in ways, even though this is still very a very supernatural topic. But yeah, like Scorpion, they made him a little bit more grounded and like he was in the games, and like he didn't have like super powers. But I don't know, did a little bit of better job of explaining things in that remake. And there is plans for a second one because that one was pretty successful, and so there's a sequel on its way.
This year, right?
I think so. If not this year, I did 2026. All I know is Carl Urban's in it.
Oh, wow.
As Johnny Cage, because he wasn't in the first one. Yeah, I'm in. Wow, I didn't even realize. I thought I completed my notes, but I didn't. Let's talk about this movie now, and let's talk about some of our favorite scenes or scenes that really stand out, make it memorable. So I'm going to start with you.
Okay. Well, the first thing I put down, I mean, we've already mentioned it, but like the intro is hype as all get out. Like the techno and the Mortal Kombat yell, like
that was okay. So I was watching this with Alyssa. I knew Alyssa was going to hate this movie, but it starts and she was like, "Yeah, this is pretty awesome intro."
Right?
It's the cool logo. The logo's cool too. Like that dragon.
Cool. You got the fire. Yeah.
You got the techno music.
Great little intro. Like I can't really count that as a scene, but I did want to make sure everybody knows that. Yeah. Nailed the intro, and should have just solidified that for every Mortal Kombat entry going forward.
Yeah.
Just do that again. But my first scene was just kind of like, I just lumped it all together as like intros because we meet like everybody. We find out their reason for getting roped into this tournament, and like we're all on a boat within like 10 minutes headed to this island.
We're on a boat.
Yeah. Crazy.
True.
Too.
We do get like very quickly to the boat. I forgot about I didn't forget about it, but
you meet everybody like so fast. So you got Liu Kang, like who has the dream that his brother's dead, and it's not just a dream, like he is dead. So he's going for revenge, and then you got Sonya chasing Kano. We meet both of them. She's rolling through the club, hitting people with a shotgun.
Shit out of people. Straight up shoots that guy. Doesn't ask questions. Just
the one bodyguard in the whole club. Shoots him, no questions. And then she's chasing him, sees that he's on the boat. And then we get Johnny Cage, who gets tricked by Shang Tsung's, morphing abilities to like, hey, this will boost your career if you enter this martial arts tournament.
So that does mean that he ended up killing his sensei or whatever, master, whatever, agent, whatever that guy's name, whatever his job is. But that tells me that Shang Tsung killed that guy.
Right? That's like a prerequisite for putting
on
his face, right?
Yeah.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. Johnny Cage, typical action star here. I like the scene. I think it's a cool scene that they should let's dance.
Yeah, he's pretty great from the onset. You can tell he's going to be bringing the comedic element, and has some like deep insecurities as well, which is kind of comical. So.
I love the picture on the front of the newspaper that's being read. Like he's like this, like such a funny picture.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, Shang Tsung is like the face stealing monster from Avatar.
Ooh.
Or he's Arya Stark from Game of Thrones.
Ooh.
Another comparison there.
Just
No,
my
I
favorite.
loved as a what am I? How old was I again? 8 when this movie came out. As an 8-year-old boy, Johnny Cage was everything that I wanted to be in my entire life.
Yeah. Movie star, smooth, can kick people's face off, funny, gets the girl, it's all of it. Whole
Yeah.
thing.
Although I hated him in the video games. Like he did the nut punch thing, which was great, but like all of his other moves kind of sucked.
I don't think I ever really played with him in the games at all. He was too basic.
Yeah.
Like there's too many other like crazy characters. Like I'm not just gonna choose like the white.
I can freeze somebody with another guy, and you want me to shadow kick somebody? No.
Oh, shadow. We see the shadow kick.
We see the shadow.
Yeah,
we see his moves.
That's it. That was it. Yeah.
We see the shadow kick, but it doesn't land.
And we see the split to nut
To
punch.
the nuts.
Yeah.
And
which I mean, haha.
yeah, that's fine.
But I want to use something more exciting.
And then we see his friendship.
Oh yeah. The friendship. that was funny. That made me
good.
laugh.
That's pretty good. No, yeah, so we get on the boat. Sonya just gets on the boat, which is hilarious. Jax is back there. Jax with 2 X's, not 1 X.
Why?
She just gets on that boat with her gun.
This guy's like in charge of the lore. How did this happen?
No idea. They spelled Raiden wrong all over the place too. It's pretty bad.
Come on.
Yeah.
Do better.
But the boat scene is pretty. I will say the boat scene is half cool and half terrible. It looks. One of the things I was looking forward to when I watched this movie was I was like going to be so happy about like production design and like how they like did everything. Because like the island, when they get to the island and they have all those like temples and stuff that they're in, I think those look pretty good. And like the areas where they fight, I think those areas look good. This boat looks like complete garbage when they're on it.
Yeah. Well, I guess I have a little more understanding now that I've heard you say $20 million budget. Like,
oh yeah,
they stretched that pretty good. I wonder how much of that goes to Goro.
I'll tell you how much of that went to Goro.
Oh, you have the number? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear it. Yeah, I mean, it looks so bad.
Yeah,
but I mean, they made it work with what they had, I guess.
But that scene stuck out to me so poorly because it's the three of them are talking. Somebody's got a fog machine like 10 feet behind them, pumping
full
fog.
blast.
You can't see the water at all. Obviously, they're not wanting to show you the water that they're on. It looks like it's probably a 5x5 set that they're on, and it looks terrible. I don't know what it is. It looks like a TV set. That's even worse. I don't know. It was bad. And it surprised me just because and it gets better. As we go to
I think that was the most like glaring deficiency that I remember of like, ooh, okay.
But we get introduced to Sub-Zero. We get introduced to Scorpion. We get Shang Tsung does his little intro himself. They repeat a line like one right after another, which really bugged me this time around. I don't know why.
Fair.
So yeah, no, I like that.
Also, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you think it's about to be 3v3, but then Raiden comes through and it's like, no, we can't do this here. Tournament rules. Like, okay.
The rules were something that also I'll get to.
All over the place. Don't make any sense.
In the animated prequel, they show basically all of this. The animated prequel, if you want to get some more lore about this movie, the animated prequel is the way to go. Look that up. It takes the whole boat scene. It even adds a fight scene when they all get to the island where they're fighting a bunch of baracas.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It gives you a little bit more lore about Scorpion and Sub-Zero and how they became enemies, and even talks about Goro. Goro's a little bit mistreated. I have a little bit of sympathy for Goro after watching this animated one. So I do recommend go watch Mortal Kombat: The Journey Begins. I'm sure you can find it on YouTube. What's your next scene? Sorry.
Oh no, you're good. I like the lore, and I feel like it seems like they had pretty good like they've had like 2 video games to date when this comes out, and about to release the third.
About to release the third, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like the kind of like tandem there for building out the lore and the world. I think they had like a really cool moment in like the franchise history, like with this movie. And it may not have been as great as they wanted it to be, but
I wish I could look on it with like my 8-year-old eyes again, because like this was so cool to see those guys on screen, to see these, the guys that you only see on like a side-scrolling video game that we played, like come to life. That was really cool.
It's not a little like 2D, like 20-foot long battleground. It's got depth and elements, which especially in the Johnny Cage and Scorpion fight, I thought was really awesome.
Very cool. Yeah.
But yeah, I think my next scene after all that, we get some like in between stuff, but my next scene was like when the tournament starts, like officially, like we get kind of like the first round, if you will.
Oh yeah, those lame fights.
Yeah, I think the Johnny Cage and Scorpion one is part of that. I guess it wasn't really like
they don't really give you a schedule of events.
Yeah, and it was kind of like it like started in the woods. Like it didn't seem like as formal as the other ones. So I don't know if that was just like an attack or like they were supposed to fight. Like it was weird.
Yeah, because like so Liu Kang gets to fight some rando.
Some rando, yeah. Which was pretty good. It was like pretty good fight choreography. Like
Sonya gets to fight. I like the sand being kicked up and like with their bows and stuff. That was good. Sonya gets to fight Kano, and Johnny has. I mean, that's a hard first round.
Yeah.
Like Scorpion right off the bat is pretty hardcore.
Yeah, and an ambush too. He's just walking through the woods and there it happens. So
yeah, I wish I knew like some more tournament rules. Like how were people seated and like where
there's no spectators at all for that one. Like
how do we need to know? How does Johnny get back from whatever hell dimension Scorpion
they teleport to like the nether realm or whatever it was? That's a good question.
And another thing, how does he doesn't talk about it? He doesn't say, guys, I fought that dude with the thing in his hand, killed him, by the way.
Remember Scorpion?
Remember that? Killed him. Who did you guys fight? Liu Kang's like, well, I fought some random guy with some dreads.
I'm the chosen one, but I got a bye first round, I guess.
Yes, essentially. And then Shang Tsung also gets to steal his soul. He didn't do any of the work.
When I tell you that this tournament does not make sense.
It does not make sense.
They've been at this for what, 9 times previously, which is like 300 years. And like, I don't know.
You think that they would be a little bit more organized.
Yeah. Come on.
Like there would be a registration and.
But then they keep harping on points that it's like, oh, you don't want to break the tournament rules here. And it's like, what do you mean, dude? Like,
I just want to see what the bracket.
It seems like he's in charge of the tournament. Like, who's gonna come in and say, oh, you broke a rule? Like, you're certain timeout. Like he's running things. Like I don't know. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. I think it's one of those things, I remember playing the game and like you could select like which like it was like tiered like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there was one where you had to like fight a lot more people. Johnny got the first one. And you got to the end of the game.
I guess so, yeah.
He
got the bad draw.
Yeah, got the bad draw, definitely.
Scorpion and Goro.
Yeah, that sucks, man. What a rough one, too. He chose Goro, though.
True.
He does choose Goro.
He had a big plan.
And then Liu Kang gets like 2 practice fights, essentially.
Yeah.
Because he fights
Katana.
He fights Katana.
That was the most out of place garbage. Like, it didn't make any sense. They like scuffle around for a minute while she's giving him advice. And then
Shang Tsung just gets mad.
Like, stop. I'm disappointed in you. Like, what? Nobody has to die. You just stop the fight.
I get. Well, you see all those people that are hanging out on the boat. Like, it's not just these 3 people. There are other humans that are coming to this tournament. What happens to them? I mean, we see what happens to one of them.
Oh, yeah. Goro got a lot of them.
Oh, yeah. That's right. I forgot about the montage, which is just death.
Love
death.
It.
Yeah. No, I think the Kano scene and the Kano Sonya Blade scene and then the Johnny Cage Scorpion are 2 really good fight scenes here.
Yeah, a lot better than the Chosen Ones.
Although, I mean, I wish that the Kano fight would have been a little bit better. I'm glad with how it ended. Like, that's awesome. She just freaking kills him.
Her head scissor move or whatever.
Yeah. It's the only time
we get a little like one-liner. Like, what do you say? Give me a break.
Give me a break, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. I like that Kano gets dispatched pretty easily and everything. But like Sonya only gets to fight once. I was a little disappointed in that.
Yeah. It seemed like she was a last-minute casting, so I wonder if that
might have had something to do with it. I do know that they cut a scene where she was supposed to fight Jade, which is a character from the third video game.
So a little teaser character.
Yeah, very interesting. She does fight her in the novelization though, and wins. She beats her. Yeah, of course. But yeah, the Johnny Cage scene was awesome. You get that weird thing chasing him around that gets his hand thing. Gets killed super easily.
Yeah.
Like if it gets killed smashing into a tree, what's it going to do to a human? I mean, I know trees are harder, but
yeah,
it's like going to bruise its nose.
I don't know. I don't even know why they did that because that wasn't it. It was just like he threw like a spear in the game.
Yeah, it's right? It's like a chain with a spear at the end of it. Yeah, that's what it really is.
Made it come out of him. Maybe they were just like wanting to, I don't know, add some effects.
Again, 8-year-old me thought it was so cool.
Yeah, it was very weak though, which is sad.
Very weak.
That was like his move. And also, it had like infinite length too. He like,
but not infinite.
100 yards away, and it's still like coming at him
because it got wrapped around all those trees. He got lucky.
Yeah. Maybe it's his intestines. No.
Maybe it's his intestines is a wild theory.
I mean, where else do you get that kind of like distance?
Only your intestines. They're not us, they're not like us.
They're not us.
They're not us, man. So the next one though, after Liu Kang gets his hint from Katana in that weak ass fight, we do get to see probably most people's favorite Mortal Kombat character, I would say. Sub-Zero. I would say he's probably everybody's like most favorite.
Yeah, I'd say he's up there. I do feel like Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and Reptile were kind of like a lot of fan favorites, like the trio.
Yeah. I liked Rain. I liked Smoke when they came on too.
Yeah.
Noob Saibot. I liked him.
Yeah.
Badass. But again, like there were some really cool things in this fight, in the Sub-Zero fight, though. I think it ended kind of cheesy, but
Big time.
But like he runs off the wall and does a flip. That was pretty cool. Like my favorite part of this whole fight is when I think Liu Kang kicks him and he like gets kicked into like a backflip, but on his back. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it kicks him like when he's coming back around. Yeah.
That was awesome.
It kind of challenged my idea of what's possible. I was like, did someone do that? Like, no, right?
Yeah.
But you can, like, martial arts.
They can do anything. It's art.
Yeah.
They don't call it martial arts for nothing.
Yeah, I hated the way, like, Sub-Zero was done at the end of that. Like, I feel like there should have been I don't know. It was just, like, so lame.
Yeah.
In my mind. Like, I'll just throw a bucket of water at him, and that's going to do it. Okay.
Thank God Raiden put those there.
Right.
Like Liu Kang's just getting help all over the place.
Thank God he couldn't come out of his like he's sitting there swinging the bucket around for like a good like 20, 30 seconds, but I guess he can't come out of his power ice move or whatever. I don't know.
That's a bad fatality too. That's not even a good one. I guess he's just trying to freeze the whole
it all.
Just freeze it all.
I don't know.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that ending of that fight.
Yeah. I think they could have done a little bit better, but
I do think we get a better Liu Kang fight closer to the end though.
Reptile?
Yeah, I think the reptile fight was pretty awesome.
I think that fight like choreography is the best in the whole movie.
Yeah. I don't like Reptile in what they did with Reptile, like before.
Yeah.
That was weird, right?
CD, weird. I mean, he did have the like invisibility thing, right? Where he would go like invisible in the game. So that part tracks, but I don't know. I don't know why they chose that for the rest.
And like then all of a sudden he becomes a ninja because you throw him into a dead body and the dead body takes hold of him and makes him an awesome scorpion looking ninja.
It would have been, I mean, if they would have used like Sub-Zero's body, maybe.
That would have made sense.
Yeah.
I also like Reptile's face mask thing. Because
It's
got like the fangs. That was cool. No, yeah. Reptile's pretty cool. He is just Randall from Monsters Inc., though, is what. That's her recast. That's Alyssa's recast.
Alyssa's recast. I like that.
That's a good recast.
Didn't even cross my mind, but yeah, that's it.
What are we going to talk about? Art Lean?
We don't need to. Why?
Let's introduce this character just to kill him shortly after.
And not even a lore character. Like they made him up for the movie.
He is more prominent in the books.
Is he? Okay.
Or in the book that I read, in the novelization. I'm pretty sure he's like the very first scene in the book. It's like him going to Mortal Kombat or whatever. And him winning a fight. But yeah, just gets dispatched quickly.
Yeah.
By Goro.
Yeah, Art's on you.
Art's on you. Great Lost reference. What do we think about Goro?
I've got mixed feelings. Like, I appreciate what they tried to do. It was a difficult ask. And I think they did the best that they could in 1995.
Yeah. So I can go ahead and drop some knowledge about Goro real quick. He was portrayed by an elaborate $1 million animatronic. It took 13 to 16 puppeteers to control him. It was also very problematic on set. It broke down constantly, and the person inside of Goro could only be in there for 2 minutes at a time because there was no oxygen.
2 minutes at a time?
Yeah.
Gee whiz.
Yeah,
Who made this?
so that's why we don't see Goro as much as we like. That's why we just get the shouting montage with all the dead humans. That's why we get a lot of that. We don't get to see him very much.
Okay. It makes more sense now.
So $1 million of the $20 million budget went to Goro.
Nice. 5% budget. Straight out
Just
the gate.
gone.
Yeah.
And I think like $8 million went to Christopher Lambert. I'm pretty sure he got a big portion of the
Yeah. That's what I read about that. It is, man, you would think for spending that kind of money they would have a few more of the logistics nailed down a little bit more, namely oxygen tube.
Yeah, why?
What was the plan there?
It is crazy that 2 minutes at a time. Who knows?
I'm not holding my breath for 2 minutes to operate an animatronic. Who's doing that?
If it was Goro, would you?
I can't hold my breath for 2 minutes, I don't think.
You got to work on it, man. I would love to own that animatronic. Keep it in the back here.
Crazy.
He's got such a weird torso.
Yeah. I think the face, could have used a little bit more love.
This is really sad, and I'm talking about the dead here. But Goro always reminded me of the wrestler China. Am I wrong?
They do have a ring at one point. There's almost like a box. Is it the art fight? I think it's the art fight.
It is the art fight. I'm just like, that is China.
China versus art.
China versus art. Degeneration X.
Oh my god.
Especially look up a picture of China. If you don't know anything about wrestlers or anything, look a picture up of China, Chyna, and then you'll see one picture of her where she's got like a ponytail, like a high ponytail, looks just like Goro. That's jacked out of her mind.
That's tough.
That's a tough beat, but so she always scared me because she just looked like she'd beat the shit out of me.
You just thought it was Goro in real life?
Yeah, Goro with two-armed Goro. The only thing scarier than a 2-armed Goro is a 4-armed Goro. Prince Goro.
Didn't they bring in later games a female version of Goro?
Mm-hmm. I think she's in Annihilation too. Shiva is her character.
Oh yeah, she is in Annihilation. Oh yeah. I think there's a problem with that in that movie too, if I remember right. Which we don't have to get into, but
Jade is also in that movie. Mataro's in that movie.
I feel like I remember Melina. Is Melina in that?
Melina is in that movie.
She was a scary one.
Melina was scary. She's the scary twin sister of Katana, I'm pretty sure. I think that's the lore, anyway.
The lore. That's what the lore says.
That's what the lore says. And whatever the lore says, we listen to.
Is it crazy that after 300 some odd years, 9 wins in a row, reigning champion, that all it took was a groin punch and kicking off a cliff?
That's all it takes. You just had to improvise. You had to come up with a plan. Obviously, if you take him head on, you're going to get beat. If you try and traditionally fight him, I think Johnny Cage,
Johnny was the only smart one.
Yeah, I think so.
Nobody else had the brains.
Just Johnny. He just knew. And he crushed his sunglasses.
Yeah,
That's enough to piss off a man.
$500.
$500 sunglasses. That's not cheap. That's not cheap in 19. Those glasses are probably $2,000 now.
Sheesh. He got movie
Seriously.
money though. He's all right.
That's true. He does have movie money. He's just here for the lulls.
For the reputation.
Exactly.
He's got to gain his honor back. He's not a fake martial artist. A lot of good kicks. I feel like everybody that was cast kick really well.
It's great. Most people did their own stunts too. In those, in those fight, and I think the guy that played Johnny Cage regretted it because he ended up peeing blood.
Oh yeah, that was
after
one of
his
my
fight with Scorpion. Yeah,
Oof.
That's rough. But
yeah, but it makes sense too because like I read that like Scorpion, Reptile, Sub-Zero, all those guys were like real like martial artists. Like they were legit. So like if you're not if you're getting in there not with the stunt man, like shit can happen. So
yeah. Robin Shao, who plays Liu Kang, was actually supposed to be this just stunt coordinator he was like the head stunt coordinator and like fight choreographer and stuff. And so he actually ends up being Liu Kang, the main character, and such as that. I mean, so, but yeah, they all did their own stunts, including Sonya Blade. Which I thought she was really good in that Kano fight too. I thought that was good.
I was surprised. I feel like when I was trying to think about recasting, I was like, I think she might be, other than, well, no, I think she might be my number one that I was like, I think she was a perfect cast.
I agree. I agree. I do think that because I was struggling trying to think of a recast for both like 2025 and 95. Because I was like, she just has such a she's very beautiful, but she also has like she don't take no shit look on her face.
Yes.
Yeah,
that fierce disposition where you're just like, all right.
I'm not messing with Sonya Blade. Now I would have recast Jax 100% because that guy sucked.
The two
X Jax. Yeah. The 20 seconds of Jax that we got with 2 X's.
Yeah.
We don't want to meet triple X Jax. Maybe we do. What else are we missing here? What scene are we missing in between?
After we've talked about it. Johnny taking on Goro. I think that was my next scene where he does his iconic splits and punches in the nuts at the same time. So, and then kicks him off the cliff. I think after that, you mentioned it. The Liu Kang and Reptile fight was pretty special to me. Especially we get to see the iconic bicycle kick there at the end of that fight, which was always really cool.
So I got a question. Maybe you know the answer. Were we in Outworld on the island? Is that a part of Outworld, or is that Earth still? Or do we only go to Outworld whenever we go through the portal? Chat, you are free to answer this as well.
I'm not 100% sure. I do think the portal was to like Outworld proper. Not sure where the island is exactly, but yeah, because you see like the people, like the Outworld citizens at parts.
That was in world, gotta be.
So I don't know where the island is.
Yeah. Well, because I read something that was like the only time we get to see any of like Liu Kang's special abilities are when he is in Outworld. He doesn't do anything like supernatural in the real world. Yeah, so with his bicycle kick and then the fireball at the end.
Yeah.
Those are both in Outworld, so maybe it like does something for his powers when he's in Outworld.
Hmm.
I saw that. I saw something.
Interesting. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's a good point. I think that is right based on my understanding. I think that was Outworld. So maybe he does have like some sort of like unleashed extra ability when he's there. I don't know why,
But man, again, 8-year-old me, you see that bicycle kick, you're like, that's it. He doesn't make the noise though.
yeah. Which, if I remember right, it's been a long time since I've played any of those games. I feel like Liu Kang's voice in those games was really annoying.
Oh yeah, because he was based on Bruce Lee, and Bruce Lee always did the
Like the Bruce
Like the
Lee
high
noises.
yeah.
So I'm okay with that not being in there because too much.
But we get the bicycle kick, and then we get the final showdown
Final showdown
with Shang Tsung and Liu Kang, which you don't look like you're happy about.
Okay, no, I'm not. I remember. I don't know what Mortal Kombat game it was. It's not the most recent one or the one before that, but one of the ones that came out in the past like 10 years on console. I played it, got to the Shang Tsung battle. Took me days to beat it. Like took me days to beat this guy. And then we get to this fight and it's like Katana over in the corner like face your enemies, face yourself, face your worst fear. And I was just like, okay, those are kind of like interesting concepts for like stages of a boss battle. But then it just like, it didn't add up to anything. It was like face your enemies was him summoning a bunch of little cronies. They did have like an actual like bit of a exchange before that, which was pretty good. It like I think that fight was pretty good. It was pretty short.
It was. That's my biggest complaint with this fight is it did feel very short. Even with all the different stages, it felt short.
Yeah. You get like a short piece of them like hand to hand, and then he's like summoning all these guys with weapons who all get like two-shotted. And then like she's like, face yourself. And he like says like a one-liner or something. And I guess that was that phase.
Yeah, that's true.
And then like she says, face your worst fear, and he like Shang Tsung's like back is turned to him, and he turns around and he's his brother. Like, how is there any way that you could think that would be your brother? Like, you just saw him turned around. I just feel like it was really poorly done on all three phases, and yeah.
No, I agree. I do like that. I did think that was super funny, though. He's just like, "You're not my real brother."
Obviously, bro, you just saw that was it. There was no like smoke, fog machine, darkness. Like he's just standing there. Yeah.
And then and then he gets fireballed off the edge onto the spikes, which is very, like fan servicey for Mortal Kombat lovers. Getting killed on the spikes was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I liked that. It was as close as you can get to like the pit, So, yeah.
I would have liked to have seen just an uppercut. That would have been cool. At one point,
leg sweep.
Leg sweep.
Whenever I couldn't figure out the fatality, I would just do the leg sweep they staggered.
They just fall back. It's so true. Like, I didn't get it. Okay, leg sweep.
Not this time.
Not this time. Nope. Next time. And then they win. They win Mortal Kombat. Everything's fine. They go back to the Temple of the Light, and then we get a stinger with Shao Kahn being really mad. Little teaser for the next one, which is where the sequel does pick up. And they refilm everything, and Johnny Cage is different. Sonya Blade is different. And I don't want to spoil it for anybody.
Say it.
They kill off Johnny Cage in the first 5 minutes of that movie, which is bold.
It wasn't the real Johnny Cage though.
It wasn't the real Johnny Cage, but still pissed me off as a
Yeah.
10-year-old, 9-year-old. I was just like, that's my favorite character, man. You just killed him? The funniest part of this whole movie, and you killed him?
He killed Goro. Like,
Just snapped his neck. Done.
stuff.
Sorry to ruin Mortal Kombat Annihilation for you, but you should still watch it because it's insane.
Well, yeah. Okay.
A lot of characters in there. Okay,
Yeah, that part's fun.
we went through the entire movie. Who was your favorite character, or was there a scene stealer?
I think it was Johnny for me. Like, I think he was just he was very funny. Added some extra depth. I liked Sonya's character and casting, but I don't think they gave her enough really. So
Because when she was done with Kano, she was kind of done.
yeah, same with Katana. Like I thought that she was really well cast too. I feel like, but didn't get much at all either. And then Chang Sung is great. I think that's my best performance. But,
Yeah.
um,
No, I'm with you. Johnny Cage is my favorite character of the whole thing. One thing I will say about Johnny Cage, though, is, there's that one part when Raiden is like going through, he's like, oh, you're out for revenge and you're out, you're avoiding your destiny. And Johnny, you'll rush into any fight. And if you do that, you'll lose. Well, he rushes in the very next thing that he does is he rushes into that fight with Goro and he wins.
and also Raiden says after he tells him that plan, he's like, oh, finally, someone's understanding. It's like,
You just told him not to do
I'm
that.
confused. I pick a lane. I can't.
Yeah, he was still my favorite. I think Johnny Cage was amazing in this movie. So, memorable lines that stood out to you, favorite quotes.
Yeah, I got a few. Let's see. This one was kind of early on when Liu Kang Raiden first appears as like a beggar, and Liu Kang says something disrespectful to him. He's like, "Oh, this isn't Raiden. This is some beggar." And like his grandfather's like, "Spare him, my lord Raiden. American life has enfeebled his mind. Too much television."
Too much television. I think that old man, Liu Kang's grandfather, is also a random character in the movie 50 First Dates, where they're in the diner and Adam Sandler's looking at Drew Barrymore's character, and this old man is in between him and Drew Barrymore. He's like, "Are you looking at her or are you looking at me? Because you're really starting to freak me out." It's the same guy. I swear it is.
What a pull.
That's all I could. When I saw him on screen, I was like, "It's that guy.
It's that guy.
It's that guy."
It's very funny.
What else you got?
You go.
Oh, I have the classic. It has begun, which is what I was talking about earlier. After Raiden says it has begun, the very next line is Shang Tsung saying the same thing, and just I was like, "Oh, is this what we do?" If
Has it begun though? Like it seemed a little
it
premature.
didn't really
as
do
well.
anything.
It's like-
Yeah, it did seem very premature.
Like, yeah.
But I guess they crossed over into the some boundary that was like, okay, now we're on.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
it has begun.
It has begun.
So we
What
get to
else?
see some more cool stuff.
I've got Shang Tsung says to Johnny at one point, "You're very foolish, true sign of a hero," which I thought was pretty funny. And then also, you already said those were $500 sunglasses, asshole, when he's talking to Goro after he smashes him.
That was one of mine. Johnny Cage says after Sonya just wanders off by himself, she says, "You gotta admire her when she sets her mind on something." And Liu Kang says, "It's not her mind you're admiring." And the best part is when Johnny says, "It's true."
It's true. You got me.
True. What else?
No, I got another one from Johnny when they first like get up to the temple, and he's looking around. He's like, "Gee, I wonder what the bathroom looks like."
Whenever Johnny says something about, Katana went this way, I could smell her perfume, and then Sonya says, "I smell something," and looks at Johnny and says, "Bullshit." I loved it.
The only other one I wrote down was Liu Kang. This was towards the end. He says to Shang Tsung, "All those souls, and you still don't have one of your own. I pity you, sorcerer."
I pity you, sorcerer. The only other one I have is where Johnny Cage says, "This is where you fall down," which is a callback line to earlier on in the in the movie when the stunt guy wouldn't fall down after he was fighting him in the movie. But he says it to Goro on the cliff, and then Goro dies. It's very great.
That was funny.
All right. Biggest laugh, cry, scare, or thrill? Or what moment really packed a big emotional punch?
There was a lot of crying for me personally.
Okay.
But I don't really want to talk about that right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't bring it up either.
I think, let's see, biggest laugh. I had just like how crazy it was that like Johnny thought up this very simple plan to defeat Goro. Just like starting with the groin shot, and then just like, oh, I'll just lure him out on the cliff, and that's it. So
again, as an old as an 8-year-old, the nut punch is the funniest thing when you see it.
100%. Maybe I'm misremembering this, but is that his move where he had like a Michael Jackson like hee hee, or was that somebody else?
I'm pretty sure he does the splits and goes hee hee.
Okay. I can remember that is ingrained in my head somewhere and through those arcade games that somebody at some point does like the Michael Jackson hee hee, and that just seemed great.
Well, there's always the Smokey thing too. Smokey.
Wait, is that what I'm thinking of? I don't know.
We'll have to look it up. Look it up later. I don't really know if there's anything like funny that's intentionally funny in this movie.
Yeah.
Which brings on my next thing, or what the F, or WTF, or ridiculous moments. What was your most ridiculous moment?
I didn't really have one. There was nothing that like was crazy to me, and now I'm very interested to hear what you have to say.
Okay, I've got 3 right off the bat, like that are moments.
Okay.
The first one is the scorpion cartwheel. Do you remember this part? So he's fighting Johnny Cage in the woods, and then all of a sudden, like Johnny Cage can't find him, and then behind Johnny Cage's back, you just see this man cartwheel into.
Like from behind a tree, like cartwheels out. Is that what you're talking about?
Funny.
Okay, yeah.
So funny that he just cartwheels. Like he can't just like walk out menacingly. Nope, cartwheels, and very, very funny to me. Liu Kang, when he's fighting Sub-Zero goes down. There's like this ramp, and Sub-Zero flips down it, and then Liu Kang just goes, "Yeah!"
He just like runs down and yells at it.
Yeah, which is a fun. I think that's actually a funny thing in the some fun facts I saw something about that. Apparently, he was supposed to do like some kind of flips and stuff down there, but he had done it so much and attempted it too many times. He just did this like run and yell down and that's the one they put in the movie. That was the last scene or the last one they shot for the day. And he just ran down there and yelled at him. Other ridiculous thing, Sonya Blade's slave outfit and her hair.
Oh yeah.
They took the time to put her in a leather dress, mini, like not that revealing, but not on like Slave Leia attire from Star Wars or anything. But they took the time to put her in this dress and tie her up, and then also tease her hair very big, and also do her makeup very smoky, give her some smoky eye. So yeah, that's a little ridiculous for me. But the other things that one we already talked about was Reptile, early Reptile in this movie. I just hated. I hated that, and then the rules of the tournament as a whole.
Yeah, the rule. I guess the rules would be my one if I was just like, what the fuck, like.
Yeah, like what are the rules? What's the bracket? I can fight here, I can't fight there. I can use special powers, but these are I didn't understand.
And then we get to the end of the movie, like, oh, we've won, but the Emperor's still invading. Like,
yeah, how does that work?
What was the whole point of all of this if he's just going to invade anyways? Yeah,
it's kind of dumb.
We need some rules.
I would like to see some rules. I would like to see a rule book, please.
Yeah,
Shao Kahn written rule book. Best music moment.
I mean, it's the theme for me, hands down.
Techno Syndrome is the name of the song by, I can't even remember what it's who it's by.
Yeah, I can't. Dang. No, I can't remember.
The Immortals.
There it is.
Not really a big fan of techno, but I will bump this song forever.
Oh yeah, could listen to it in any circumstances, really.
If you know any DJs, this is going to be a hit.
It might be.
Maybe. Also, the entire soundtrack for this movie went platinum in less than 2 weeks.
Dang.
So pretty good. A lot of stabbing westward. That's another group on or DJ or whatever techno group. That's a big part of this whole soundtrack. But yeah, went platinum in 2 weeks.
Good for
Anything
them.
else? Anything else that sticks out?
Well, just regarding the music, you're talking about going platinum like that. I saw like I didn't read the whole thing with the fun fact, but I saw something about like they were trying to get like Sony or Virgin Records to help out with the soundtrack, both of who were like, nah, we're not going to do like the whole like techno EDM thing. Like you would have to use like some big artists or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So they went to like this like smaller TVT company or whatever, and then they went platinum, like you're saying.
Suck it.
Yeah. Good for them.
So good for them. Yeah, you're right. All right, who now it's time for everybody's favorite segment, F, Marry, Kill. You might be one.
This could be good. This could be good.
This could be good.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I was gonna try and not do people or characters because there wasn't really a good 3 to do this week, but I did pick 3 characters.
Okay.
And those characters are Scorpion, Reptile, and Sub-Zero.
That's the trio I was hoping you were about to say. Okay. I haven't thought about it, but as I was thinking trios, I was like, yep, that's the trio. Okay. Let's see. Are we talking
only the ninja forms?
Okay. That's important for Reptile.
Not weird lizard thing.
Let's see. I think I'm killing Scorpion just because the hand thing weirds me out a little too much. Like if it was a spear he was throwing, that's different. But tentacles coming out of your hand, not really my thing.
Not any tentacles. Got it.
Ooh, let's see. I do like being cold. Other than Reptile, what else did Reptile have going for him? Yeah, I think I'm marrying Sub-Zero just because there was more established there. Reptile's a little unknown, other than just like coming in for the fight. So, yeah, and we'll say F Reptile.
Okay. F Reptile. I see. The only thing I was thinking of with Sub-Zero is like I do love being cold. You're right, but I also don't want you to put your like cold if I don't want you to be cold and touch me.
Hmm.
So I can't marry Sub-Zero.
Can you touch Sub-Zero without like being frozen too? Is that
That's a good point. Well, I mean, I don't know.
What's the lore have to say?
What does the lore say? What does the Lorax say? So I think I'm gonna kill Sub-Zero,
Oof.
and then
Kill
I
my
think
dude?
I'm going to marry Reptile.
Okay.
I don't know why, but I think Scorpion would be a good lay. This
Because
is
of the
ridiculous.
cartwheel? It was
Because of the cartwheel.
Really sold for you,
He's
wasn't it?
obviously an acrobat. He can do a lot of things. He's got that hole in his hand with this little thing. Who knows
Yeah.
what to do there?
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows? Reptile, seems like he's just he would be a fun person to, live your life with. He seems
Yeah.
loyal. He was very loyal to Shang Tsung, so loyalty's pretty big, huge.
Yeah. Huge. Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, I don't think I would want to put up with the drama of Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Like they're always like, fighting, and I couldn't deal with that drama. So I got to get rid
You
of
gotta
one of
kill
them.
one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I get that.
So that's what I think of Cody. Cody loves a tentacle. Such ridiculous. That was the best one I could come up with. I was like, there are only 2 women in this movie. There's a bunch of dudes in this movie. But the fun trio would have been the ninjas.
I wish we had more to go off of with Reptile. I feel like
I
could
do.
make better.
I do too. But yeah, I don't want to sleep every night next to
I mean,
Sub-Zero.
the acid spit doesn't seem like it's that bad because like Liu Kang just kind of like wiped it off. You know?
Yeah. So if they like cough on me or anything, it'll be okay.
Yeah.
I'm good.
You'd be all right.
All right. So I think we both have the same person for the best performance in this movie. Who do you think gave the best performance?
I said that Kerry Hiroyuki Tagawa.
Yeah, I think we're right on that. And it's so much so like that everybody felt this way, that his portrayal is what they based Shang Tsung on for all the games to come. He even comes back and does the voice. So like whenever you hear "your soul is mine," which we didn't even mention in our quotes, but "your soul is mine," that is Kerry Hiroyuki Togawa saying that. So your soul, fatality, flawless victory. Although they claim flawless victory way too many times in this movie. There's only like Sub-Zero and Johnny Cage are the only 2 that get flawless victories.
Yeah. They kept saying flawless victory after people got hit, and I was just like,
you don't play the games. That was not blocked,
it's
sir.
not it.
So, all right, let's do a recast.
All right.
1995 or 2025 or both.
Yeah, I got a couple for each. Not very widespread, but for 95, I did like the idea. I saw in some of the research that Jason Scott Lee was one of the ones who was supposed to be Liu Kang, who did the Bruce Lee
movie. Yeah,
movie. Yes,
he was also Mowgli in Jungle Book.
Yes.
Yeah. He would have been a good Liu Kang. Like, I honestly got him and Liu Kang confused a lot when I was younger.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair. Both shredded.
They both have cool hair.
Both have cool. Oh, the hair. Man,
The
we didn't
hair.
even mention the hair.
Yeah.
Sheesh. Yeah. Sonya, like I mentioned, I didn't think there was really. I thought she was a pretty perfect cast. But I did see that Sharon Stone was thought about for the role, and I was like, okay, I could maybe get into that. It'd be cool to see her like doing some
action,
moves, you know,
yeah,
after some training. And then I wasn't super happy with the Raiden casting. I've heard that like Christopher Lambert was like pretty integral to the movie going well and getting made successfully. So I'll give him props for that. But I was thinking maybe someone with some Asian descent. So I said Hiroyuki Sanada.
Oh yeah,
I'm
I
not
like
sure if he
him.
would be too old. I think his age would be about right in '95.
Yeah, in '95, I think it would have been good. I'm curious if you recast Raiden in 2025.
I didn't come up with anybody for 25.
I thought Brandon Lee was actually mentioned for being Johnny Cage in this movie, but obviously he passed away the year before. But I also thought I was like, that's not a bad Liu Kang either. If you wanted to, I mean, yeah, he's obviously not full, like fully Chinese, Japanese, or anything like that, but he is the son of Bruce Lee, which is
Yeah.
who Liu Kang is based on. I was like, that'd been cool. He'd have been good there. Lucy Lawless was the only person I could have thought about for Sonya Blade.
I'm drawing a blank. Who's Lucy Lawless?
Xena.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just got to,
She's a badass. Yeah.
dye her hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
She didn't
Okay.
have to be blonde.
I like it. That's a good one.
Yeah. All right. 2025. Did you recast?
Yeah. I got a couple for 25. I said for Liu Kang, Andrew Koji from. I know him from like Bullet Train. He was in that Boy Kill World movie with Skarsgård. I think he was in a TV show too that I wasn't familiar with.
He's in the G.I. Joe movies.
Yeah, the Snake Eyes movie.
Snake Eyes.
Yeah, I thought he would have been pretty good. And then I would love to see for Shang Tsung. I would love to see Tagawa do it again, even at his age. I did also say that it would be cool to see some people who aren't usually villains do that too. So I put Jackie Chan or Donnie Yen.
Okay, I knew you were going to mention Donnie Yen. That's what I was
You knew
hoping for. No, I said Simu for Liu Kang just because he did Shang-Chi. It's very easy just to switch those. I thought Donnie Yen would be good for Raiden because he isn't a bad guy. I always see him as like a good guy.
Yeah.
And then I thought Jet Li might be a good Shang Tsung. He's only like 60, but I bet that guy still got some time in him.
Yeah. Man, I haven't seen him in anything in a while either. So.
For Johnny Cage, I said Brandon Routh, who was Superman once upon a time. He's also the vegan ex-boyfriend in Scott Pilgrim.
Oh, okay.
He's the vegan guy with the vegan powers. I was like, he's kind of in his 40s. Nobody talks about him anymore. It kind of fits for the character that Johnny Cage is. I also said Alan Ritchson, who is he was Thad in Blue Mountain State. He's a huge guy. He's Jack Reacher on the Amazon show Reacher. Huge. He'd be pretty cool as Johnny Cage. I picked a favorite of yours for just Sonya Blade.
Let's hear it.
Samara Weaving.
Oh yeah, I can see it.
Yeah,
man, it'd be cool to see her with some martial arts skills too.
Yeah, I also put Betty Gilpin down as Sonya Blade. She was in that show Glow. She was in Nurse Jackie. She's in her, she's our age. I'm pretty sure. But I think she kind of gives that same like look to her that Bridget gives as well. Bridget Wilson gives just looks like a hard ass, just and badass. So I thought that would be good. Anything else? Anybody else?
That's all I got for a recast.
All right, time for some fun facts. Did you do any more research on this film?
We talked about quite a bit of what I wrote down, I think. I did see that concerning Kano, there was a a fun thing. So Trevor Goddard, who was cast for Kano in this film, they loved him so much. Kano's character is originally supposed to be like a Japanese American, but they retconned that character's like lore to have him be Australian because of loving Trevor Goddard's portrayal so much. It turns out that like closer to his death in 2003, he's actually English with a Cockney accent. He's not Australian at all. But he kept it a secret and just kind of went with it that he was Australian.
Which is bizarre. Like he's
Right.
like, oh, everybody thinks I'm Australian. I'm just gonna go with it.
Just go with it. Yeah. So I thought that was very strange, but interesting. Let's see. With Sonya, I think they said it was originally going to be Cameron Diaz, but she broke her wrist during the training, which I'm okay with because I don't know how I would have liked that. But Bridget Wilson Sampras had just finished Billy Madison and was like flown to the set the very next day, and the rest.
So maybe that is why we get less of Sonya Blade, just because you had mentioned that earlier. But it is crazy to know that Cameron Diaz was cast. Like, what kind of movie would that have been?
Yeah, I don't know about that at all. I mean, I'd give her a chance, though. We'll see. With training, like, I feel like people can surprise you.
Yeah, I mean, Bridget Wilson had to train as well, and she did all the fight scenes, so good for her.
Good on her.
She did dislocate her shoulder on set, though, and they fixed it, like, on set. She refused to use a double, too.
Just that. Pop it back in. Keep it
that,
going.
like, that Mel Gibson Lethal Weapon thing, man.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. You already mentioned that about the incident with Lyndon Ashby getting kicked in the kidney and urinating blood, which I thought was pretty gnarly. Now you go ahead if you got any more.
Oh, I've got a few here. Let's see. Jean-Claude Van Damme turned down the role of Johnny Cage. Johnny Cage is actually supposed to be based on Jean-Claude Van Damme. He turned down this role to do Street Fighter. Wow.
Mistake.
Big mistake. Huge. Whenever we see the director for Johnny Cage's film in the beginning, that was originally supposed to be Steven Spielberg. He was going to do it. He was a big fan of the Mortal Kombat video games and was willing to do a cameo appearance, but scheduling conflicts kept him from doing it. So the director in that scene is still based on, and he kind of looks like
he did kind of look like Spielberg. Now that you say that, okay. But
so that was,
man, scheduling. He can't come through for like a 10-second little clip.
I mean, who knows what that guy was doing at this time?
Yeah,
just coming off of Schindler and Jurassic Park. What was he doing then?
Nothing, man. Just twiddling his thumbs,
being a bum, you know.
I did find it very interesting that arguably two of the best fight scenes in the movie, Johnny versus Scorpion and Liu Kang versus Reptile, were reshoots. I read that like early test audiences were like, we need more fighting, and so they did some reshoots to add that. And Joe was the one who like did the choreography for those.
Yeah,
including like the wire work martial arts techniques, which I think really showed. So
you got to add in, and we got to see the bicycle kick, which was nice. So
I can't imagine not seeing this in the movie.
Yeah, that's the only cool thing about Liu Kang is the bicycle kick
and the dragon animality.
Oh yeah, the animality is pretty cool. Yeah, that was pretty cool. What else do I have here? that's not interesting. I don't know why I did that.
No,
I already did my. Let's see. I don't think I have anything else that's really that interesting.
The only other thing I saw in research that I had a moment where I was like trying to figure something out, and then sorry, I'm plugging in real quick so my phone doesn't die. Frank Welker, the voice of the Emperor at the very end of the movie,
Yeah.
sounded so familiar. And then after I looked it up, I was like, "Oh, Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget."
He's also isn't he the voice of Fred from Scooby Doo?
Is he?
Yeah, I think so.
That makes sense that you would put that together. But I had like a moment where I was like, I know that voice and I can't place it, and then it all came together.
Yeah, I think he's the voice of Megatron. Looks like he's also the voice of Baby Kermit and Muppet Babies. So he gets around.
He's quite a range.
Got some range
Good
on
on
him.
you.
Yeah. Well, if like a fine wine and dish, if you could pair this movie with another movie for a double feature, what would you choose? What do you got?
I got two obvious ones.
Okay.
Mortal Kombat 2021.
Obviously.
Also Enter the Dragon, which I feel like those are two very obvious ones. But then I have two others. I said Matrix Reloaded, the second
Ooh.
Matrix movie, mainly because of the fight scene with all the guys with the weapons.
Okay.
I think
Yeah,
there is a
no.
lot of like parallel with Liu Kang and Neo, but I said specifically the second movie because of that fight scene. It reminded me a lot of that, except the Matrix one. And then I also said the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie,
Okay. I like it.
live action.
I like that. I had Enter the Dragon on mine as well. As one of my movies. It's a fighting tournament movie. It's Bruce Lee. It's good kung fu, and martial arts. So
There's
I would check
fight.
that out. Another kung fu movie that I saw within the last several years is called Five Deadly Venoms. If you are a fan of kung fu movies or fighting movies, that one's a fun one, especially some of those older 70s movies. Five Deadly Venoms is fun. And I picked it not because of all the fighting in it, but also the Five Deadly Venoms are like the styles in which these people fight with. And there is one that is like based on Reptile. It's like I want to say it is Reptile is what his venom is, and they have like special abilities and things like that. So the Five Deadly Venoms are a lot like the Scorpion and Sub-Zero and Reptile of these. So definitely check that out if you're into kung fu movies. And then for another tournament movie, one that we'll see later this year, in fact, is actually a Western movie called The Quick and the Dead.
Oh, okay.
I thought that was a good one. And that one actually gives you a lot of rules and a lot of stuff in between, and you get all these different characters. So if you want
I'm gonna
another,
make it so much better with the rules.
it's gonna be better. But yeah, that's The Quick and the Dead is a good one for that. All right. So on a scale of 1 to 5, how likely are you to rewatch this movie?
Me personally, I'm gonna say a 5 because I know I
Okay.
will rewatch it again because I have rewatched it several times. I'll always come back around to it for nostalgia.
Yeah, I think I again for nostalgia reasons, I gave it a 3. Like if it's on, I'm gonna watch it. Especially if I can like laugh at some of the parts that I think are really funny, or see some of the badass parts that I remember so fondly as a child. So 3. I'm not like going out of my way to watch it, but I figure
I'll
like
probably watch it again before the new movie
in-
comes out, just to
awesome.
keep it going.
I love that. All right, as a whole movie, overall star rating, what do you give it out of 5 stars?
I think I'm gonna say a 2. It was almost enough to go to 2.5, but not quite.
I gave it a half star boost. I was going to give it a 1.5, but I was like, I like this movie too much to just sit it at a 1.5.
Yeah,
So I went with 2. I think that, nostalgia really rules in this one. And
yeah.
if you ever played the games, you have a lot of love for this movie. This is one of the better Mortal Kombat. Obviously, if you watch Annihilation or any of the other subsequent television shows or anything like that, this is the best thing that they've got out there. But it is sadly a 2.
I also think like yes, overall the movie is not fantastic, but surprisingly a much better step up than previous attempts for adaptations from video
Yeah.
games. Even though we're not still like at a groundbreaking level, like oh my goodness, everybody needs to see this. When you look at this versus like the Super Mario Brothers movie or
Yeah.
Street
Street
Fighter,
Fighter.
it's like okay, we're at least getting on the right track, maybe a little bit. So I think
This
that
one was palatable too.
yeah,
It just didn't explain. If you're a new person, has never played Mortal Kombat before, though,
sorry.
yeah, this movie's not for you at all, and that's okay. Alyssa liked it; she enjoyed it for what
That's
it
so
was.
something.
She just didn't know what was going on most of the time. So, but I agree, chat. I agree that an incredible Mortal Kombat movie can be made. We just need to get the right people to do it.
It could be
The
this
last
year.
2021 was not bad.
I really appreciated the decision to go to the R rating. I think
Yes.
that's just core to the game. Like it was always violent and gory and adult. And I understand the PG-13 decision in the 90s. Like you're trying to make sure the kids can still see it and appreciate it. But
Mhm.
I like the idea of taking it to the R level to give it a little more like grit and authenticity with like the subject material. So I like the 2021. There was a lot of improvements. It still wasn't great, but this year could be the year.
This could be the year. And you're adding a little bit more star power in the 2020 this most recent one that's coming out. So we're hoping he's going to
We'll
be a
see.
good Johnny Cage. You bring him in my favorite character. He's got to be great. So,
Got
well, Joseph, thank you so much for doing this. Before we wrap up, I want to hear some of your recent movie recommendations. I know you've seen a lot of movies, so
I haven't seen a ton.
we've seen
Um,
more than
I've seen some good ones though. I finally my best recommendation that I'll say. I finally saw Sing Sing. Really enjoyed it, and am so happy for all the nominations it received. I think it was probably one of the better movies of last year. Having seen quite a few of them, so definitely recommend that. Also saw Juror Number Two, which I don't think got any official nominations, if I saw correctly, but it was still pretty good. The idea was very interesting. Not, I wouldn't say it's one of Clint Eastwood's best, but it was pretty tight script wise, and the acting was pretty good. Nicholas Holt, like he had a good year last year, and this was one of the better things I saw him in. Also saw Last Showgirl, Pam Anderson. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Surprisingly so. It packed some pretty good emotion with a short movie.
Sadly, she didn't get nominated.
Yeah, it was a tough race for female actress. I feel like, but she was good. I was surprised. I was very skeptical going in. I was like, okay, but she was good. I did also see the movie Presence that just came out, like the Soderbergh kind of POV type ghost story sort of
Yeah.
movie. It was interesting and has some twists to it. I don't think I liked it very much, though.
Okay.
So not necessarily a recommendation, but I think it's worth seeing. Just if nothing else for like the artistry, the way it was shot. Um, the only other thing I would recommend, I saw a TV show recently called Behind Her Eyes. It was kind of like a limited series, 6 episodes, not a lot to palate. The lead actress in that was phenomenal. She might be my new Hollywood crush. I don't recall her name right offhand, but she was great, and it had a pretty good and well executed twist down the stretch, which kind of caught me off guard, and I was not expecting for such like a small run of a show. So that's all I got. What about you?
That's pretty good. I honestly have not been able to watch too many things. I'm trying to, pull up and see what I've even watched recently. Got one coming out that we'll talk about this coming Wednesday on the extra credit episodes. I thought that, again, I'll talk about it when that comes out. But it is one of those 4 movies that I really enjoyed. And honestly, okay, and I'm with you, so I know, and everybody else in the chat can suck it. But I watched Joker, Folie à Deux, did not hate it. I actually kind of liked it.
I think Ryan said that as well. It's at some point in the past several months when you were asking about recent watches.
Yeah, I liked it. I really did. I think it definitely is not what people expected. Apparently, even though they promoted it or they told you it was going to be a musical forever. And I like just what they did with the character of Joker. I thought, especially not you, Ryan, but other Ryan. We think that he said that he enjoyed it. Yeah, I think I enjoyed it. I think I liked it a lot. A lot of love went into it about like musicals of the past and everything. And I don't know. I just really liked it. I thought I enjoyed it, even though there's not like strong singing by Joaquin.
I thought he did pretty good.
I thought he did good.
I mean, he's not like a natural singer, but for like a dramatic, I
enjoyed it. Sorry,
can think what they want to think.
It's not my favorite movie of the year, but I do think that it got unnecessary hate for that. So,
Agreed.
And if people loved his portrayal of Joker in the first one, then you're wrong. Gaga was great. She was good. I do think that we need to see more Lady Gaga and things. Just for if you ever saw her in Star is Born, she's incredible in Star is Born. She's great in House of Gucci. That's a very fun movie. She is great in that movie, and she is going for it in that movie. I don't care about accents or anything. She's hilarious. Do watch that movie. And she's really good in this movie too. So that's all I've got to recommend for you. I did watch Beetlejuice, and it was okay.
Yeah.
It was nice to see the juice get loose again, but yeah.
What do you think about the sort of like musical number towards the end?
I liked the musical parts of it. I really did like those. Yeah. I just thought there was so much plot that they shoved into it. It was 2 hours long, and I was like, why is this character even in there? They didn't even do anything the whole movie. Yeah. It was very strange. I like anytime Justin Theroux gets put into a movie, though. I think he's a good slime ball and a very funny, charming slime ball at times. Jenna Ortega is good in it, too. She also was part of a plot that I just thought was kind of unnecessary, but it just seemed very too convoluted, too much. Yeah, a little too much in there. And they did with what they could. Other than that, that's really all I've got. Hopefully, I'm going to be watching a lot more 2024 movies. Juror number 2's on my list. Conclave's on my list to watch soon. So hopefully, I'll knock those out. I have started Conclave, and it's pretty good. Really like Conclave so far. So But if you want to see more recommendations or you want to talk about all the movies you're watching, you can join us over on our Discord. And you're always welcome to follow us on Instagram. Really, I just post like announcements about what we're doing there. And then you can also check out my account or find any of my friends' accounts over on Letterboxd, which is we'll be rating and having lists and all those things. So next week, though, Sunday, February 2nd, we're going to be starting a new month and a new theme. That theme is You Love Me, You Really Love Me, where all of the movies will be centered around romance. And our first movie will be Before Sunrise, Richard Linklater film. So do check that out. It is streaming on demand unless you own it, which I would love to own that movie. But do check that movie out, Before Sunrise. It is a walk and talking romance, so not a lot's going to happen for you, but I do hope that people watch and enjoy and come back next week to talk about that with us. I already talked about our extra credit episode we're doing called Hey, I Know You, which all films are done by known directors. Danny Boyle for Shallow Grave, John Singleton, Higher Learning, Wolfgang Peterson, Outbreak, and Sidney Pollack's Sabrina. That pod will be this Wednesday, January 29th. So join us there. I believe it'll be at 6 p.m. Or maybe later. We'll see. So if you are watching any of those movies, do check those out and join us. If you are friends with me and want to join in on that discussion, please do come in. I'll give you a link for that. And then also, we're in our third week of 52/1995 music, hosted by Alyssa, and you can join us Tuesdays for that. This week's album is Relish by Joan Osborne. I believe we're finishing up. No, this is our fourth one. We're finishing off the Ladies Month that we've been doing there. So other than that, thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next time here on 52/1995. You're the best. I left that